very religious people. They were persecuted in England, which led them to make the journey to America, where they could freely practice their religion. They separated from the Anglican Church because they wanted to eliminate unnecessary practices that were not mentioned in the Bible. The Puritans first arrived in 1520 and settled in the New England area. Their lives focused on faith and following the will of God. They had a strict work ethic because they believed that idle hands led them to sin.
Puritan education focused on literacy for the purpose of reading the Bible and understanding the law. Girls only attended schools for reading, while boys also went to other schools for grammar. Puritans were fearful of the Lord. They sought the devil in everything. The devil was believed to use humans to do his dirty work against heaven. The Puritans believed that the devil worked by tempting weak souls by presenting them with visions of wealth, power, and success. It was believed that the devil could possess people with his own supernatural powers, which allowed them to perform magic.
Believed that God had already chosen who would enter the gates of heaven, and that the masses of humanity were predestined to be hell-bound, that original sin bound even the youngest newborn into the pits of hell. They believed that the purest and truest communities were completely open with one another, rejecting conventional ideas of personal privacy. The legends and the myths surrounding the Puritans have been handed down to us from generation to generation. In fact, there are few more satirized and misunderstood people in all of American history. Legends of people burned as witches, and images of an almost impossibly repressive society had painted a wholly inaccurate portrait of one of the most influential societies in American history. And they were influential. Aside from being some of the founding members of American society, Puritans are the ancestors of over 8 million Americans. No other people have shared more influence in defining the American ideals of hard work and self-reliance, and yet there are few people more misunderstood in the American legacy. Their adversaries called them Puritans, despite their pious ways, and they came to the New World with more than just the clothes on their backs. They brought their ideas and their indomitable will to succeed. By the end of the 17th century, the Puritans had forever altered the world in which they had arrived, finding success where others found only death and desolation. Yet in every way, Puritans were an amazingly unique people. Their strict and devout adherence to their beliefs allowed them to create what they dreamed would be an ideal society, communities with close, interwoven relationships that relied on each other for survival and for salvation. Puritan ministers were among some of the most early outspoken supporters of the anti-slavery movement. Puritans kept the first diaries, and they wrote the first love letters. The communities established by Puritans have developed into some of the oldest cities in our nation today. Their beliefs did more than simply tie them together. Puritan notions of marital fidelity, moderation, and the value of hard work have become part of the cultural inheritance of every American alive today. Who were the Puritans, and what did they actually believe? How did one of the most influential societies in early America turn itself inside out? Enter the world of those who called themselves the godly, and find your history and their stories.